On April 10th, 2025, under the brutal Arizona sun, Eric pushed open the car door, sweat already running down his spine. The heat inside the vehicle was stifling, and beside him, his wife Rachel, 9 months pregnant, and strapped into her wheelchair, gripped the armrests, her face pale with pain. The doctor had said any day now, and Eric's only goal was to get her home, safe and cool. Their beige stucco house loomed ahead, the type demanded by the HOA, astral and lifeless. As he wheeled Rachel to the front door, her chair rattling over the uneven driveway, he fumbled with his keys. But the lock wouldn't budge. A red sticker across the door screamed, "Access denied. Violation, ramp color non-compliant." Eric's stomach dropped. The ramp, custom-built and city-approved, wasn't the HOA's beloved desert beige. That's all it took. He called Victoria Clay, the HOA president. "Please," he begged, "my wife's in labor. She's disabled. We need to get inside." "Rules are rules," she replied coolly before hanging up. Rachel's face twisted, her hands clutching her belly. "It's starting," she gasped. Then her body tensed as a contraction ripped through her. She tried to move, but her legs failed her. She slipped from the chair, hitting the scorching pavement with a cry. Eric dropped to his knees, catching her shoulders. "I'm here," he whispered, panic clenching his chest. Rachel's screams echoed through the neighborhood, each one gutting him. He had been a nurse once, but nothing prepared him for delivering their child on a sidewalk burning under a 105-degree sun. Nobody came. Curtains shifted, but neighbors stayed inside, cowed by HOA fear. Eric's hands trembled as he saw the baby's head begin to crown. Then movement. George, the old mechanic from down the street, came rushing out with blankets. A shy teenager followed, holding up a faded beach umbrella with shaky hands. And then Victoria arrived, stepping out of her sleek SUV, a smoothie in hand. Her heels clicked against the concrete as she surveyed the scene. "This is HOA property," she barked. "Get her off the grass." Eric wanted to explode, but Rachel's agonized cry snapped him back. "Focus on me," he whispered, gripping her hand. "You're almost there." George poured water onto a rag, gently wiping Rachel's forehead. "You've got this," he murmured. The teenager stood frozen, umbrella shaking, tears spilling down his cheeks. With a final push and a scream that tore through the silence, Rachel brought their daughter into the world. Eric caught her, trembling, and wrapped her in George's blanket. Rachel sobbed, overcome, as their daughter Lily rested on her chest. "My baby," she whispered, voice cracking. Eric kissed her forehead, crying openly now. An ambulance arrived late. The miracle had already happened. A doorbell camera across the street had caught it all: Rachel's collapse, the neighbor's silence, George's kindness, the teenager's trembling bravery, and Victoria's chilling indifference as she sipped her drink and said, "If she can't follow rules, she can suffer." Eric uploaded the footage, captioning it, "HOA locked us out over a ramp. My disabled wife gave birth on the street." He expected nothing, just a scream into the void. By morning, the video had exploded. 2 million views, then 5. Comments flooded in. "This is heartless. Arrest her. Rachel is a warrior." People across the country shared their own HOA horror stories. Eric read every message, tears streaming down his face. The world had seen what he saw: cruelty in broad daylight. But he needed more than sympathy. He needed justice. Digging into public HOA records, Eric found what he hoped: a history of complaints against Victoria. Excessive fines, intimidation, threats over garden gnomes and mailbox paint. Then he called Mark Fisher, a former board member who had quit in disgust. "She pushed me out for questioning her," Mark said. Then he sent Eric the smoking gun, emails from Victoria. One read, "Rachel's ramp is an eyesore. Lock them out to teach her a lesson." Another, even colder, "She'll beg for mercy." It wasn't negligence. It was malice. Eric stood on George's porch and addressed a gathering of neighbors. "She hurt my wife. My daughter was born on a sidewalk because of a paint code. Who's next?" Faces nodded through tears. On April 14th, protesters swarmed the HOA office, holding signs that read, "No more Victoria," and "Dignity for Rachel." Eric handed the damning emails to a local reporter. That night, Victoria's smiling face was replaced with headlines screaming, "HOA president targets disabled MOM." Her perfect life unraveled. Her country club dropped her. Her real estate business lost all its clients. She was alone in her big house, sobbing, but Eric felt nothing. She had watched his wife scream in agony and did nothing. At the hospital, he whispered to Rachel, "She's falling." Rachel's tired smile was all he needed. The video had gone international. The footage of Rachel writhing on the pavement beside her tipped wheelchair ignited national fury. Leaked emails sealed Victoria's fate. The district attorney filed charges: reckless endangerment, disability discrimination, obstruction of emergency care. In court, George testified. She stood there like it was a movie. No empathy. No shame. Jurors wept. Mark's emails were read aloud, Victoria's icy words, "Let her suffer," ringing out in the courtroom like poison. When the verdict came guilty on all counts, Victoria's face shattered. She faced up to 20 years. The HOA settled for $3 million, though Eric didn't care about the money. It wouldn't erase Rachel's pain, her dignity stolen on that burning curb. That night, Eric held Lily in his arms and whispered, "Your mom's the strongest person I've ever known." Rachel smiled through healing tears. Victoria's empire of fear had collapsed. Her smug power was gone. Her business, her reputation, her cold confidence all ashes. Arizona passed Rachel's law, banning HOA lockouts over accessibility features. Legislators invoked her name with reverence. Strangers sent letters, thanking her for standing tall when she was forced to her knees. Eric read them to Lily at night, vowing she'd grow up in a world where no one would suffer like her mother did. They left that beige prison behind. Their new house sat on a hillside, bursting with wildflowers. Eric painted the ramp a brilliant sky blue, a symbol of defiance and freedom. Rachel planted a garden full of color shades Victoria would have hated. People sometimes recognized them in town. "You're the ones who fought," they'd say, some offering hugs, others just nodding. Eric never thought of himself as a hero. He was just a man who loved fiercely, who roared when his wife couldn't. Watching Lily chase butterflies, Rachel laughing beside him, he knew their pain had forged something unbreakable. Not just revenge but change. The kind the whole world felt. On April 10, 2025, under the brutal Arizona sun, Eric pushed open the car door, sweat already running down his spine. The heat inside the vehicle was stifling, and beside him, his wife Rachel, 9 months pregnant, and strapped into her wheelchair, gripped the armrests, her face pale with pain. The doctor had said any day now, and Eric's only goal was to get her home, safe and cool. Their beige stucco house loomed ahead, the type demanded by the HOA, astral and lifeless. As he wheeled Rachel to the front door, her chair rattling over the uneven driveway, he fumbled with his keys. But the lock wouldn't budge. A red sticker across the door screamed, "Access denied. Violation, ramp color non-compliant." Eric's stomach dropped. The ramp, custom-built and city-approved, wasn't the HOA's beloved desert beige. That's all it took. He called Victoria Clay, the HOA president. "Please," he begged, "my wife's in labor. She's disabled. We need to get inside." "Rules are rules," she replied coolly.